This video has been really difficult for me to put together. Back in September, I was finally able to fly up to Ottawa, which has been on my list since I got my license. My parents live there, and I was really excited about bringing them out to the airport and hopefully taking them up for a flight. Although they weren't ready to go up in the air with me just yet, both trips were amazing visits for so many reasons. But a week and a half after the second trip, my mother passed away, suddenly and unexpectedly. I'm still processing that. It's a lot harder than I ever could have imagined, and I want to dedicate this video to her. I miss you, Mom. Be at peace. I grew up in Ottawa, and flying there's been on my to-do list since I got my PPL last year. But between winter weather, exhaust issues, my engine going down for 4 months, and then having to break in the new engine, it was almost a year before I was able to make it happen. But finally in early September, the stars aligned and we were able to make not one, but 2 flights up to Ottawa. First, Myrna suggested we take a few hours the day before our vacation and fly up to surprise my mother for her birthday. And then a couple of weeks later, I went up to spend a few days visiting with my parents and sister. There are 3 airports in the Ottawa area, and first I had to decide which one I was going to fly into. And then I had to research the rules for flying into the Ottawa terminal area. Ottawa being the capital of the country, you can't just hop in a plane and go fly there. There's a special flight rules area around the city, and although in retrospect there's not a lot to it, as a new pilot, it felt a bit intimidating at first. Basically, you need to first file a flight plan to either Ottawa or Rockcliffe Airport. And then, at least 30 minutes before departure, you call the Montreal Flight Service Center and get a dedicated transponder code that you use for your entire flight. And that's it. Beyond that, just follow your standard VFR procedures, call ATC at least 5 minutes before entering the control zone, and you're good to go. It's not quite as intimidating as the special flight rules area around Washington, D.C., with its training requirements and threats of F-16s chasing you down. Since we were only going to be in Ottawa for a few hours, I decided to land at the main Ottawa International Airport. It's just a 10-minute drive from my parents' house, and so it was going to be easy for them to come pick us up. Plus, it was just a thrill for me to get to land on one of the same runways that I used to fly out of commercially when I was growing up.
Charlie Foxtrot Whiskey, Grand Squawk code 0064, and what's your planned altitude?
5,500, 0064. I was given 5253 for the special squawk code for Ottawa. Should I maintain that or now or later?
Charlie Foxtrot Whiskey, Grand, sorry, I gave you that code just before I noticed that a VFR plan had popped up for you. I switched you to 5253, so just keep that code for your flight. That'll be great.
Squawk code in hand, we took off for the 75-minute flight up to Ottawa. The route there takes us over some beautiful cottage country. First, a little east of Toronto.
Those are kind of cool clouds out there, huh? We're actually above them.
Actually, just like the scenery down here. It's very pretty.
Yeah.
That's very pretty. What's that?
What? That lake?
Yeah.
That's Rice Lake.
Oh.
And Peterborough's right up there somewhere.
Right up there somewhere. 3004.
I didn't realize there were so many little islands in Rice Lake.
Yeah, me neither.
I wonder if it's a good place to go kayaking.
Probably. There's actually a resort right there on the water with cabins right along the water and a runway.
And a runway?
Yep.
And then as we get closer to Ottawa, we go over the Rideau Lakes, which is home to the Rideau Canal. The canal runs 202 kilometers from Kingston to Ottawa, with 45 locks that connect the Ottawa and St. Lawrence rivers.
This is Beach 24, Golf Charlie Foxtrot Whiskey.
Golf Charlie Foxtrot Whiskey, Ottawa Tower, altimeter 3002. What are your intentions?
I am 4 miles west of Bell's Corners, 3 miles west on a inbound flight plan, VFR flight plan, full stop landing at Ottawa Flight Club. Can I get runway 32?
Charlie with Foxtrot Whiskey, roger. You're cleared for the left downwind runway 32 and not below 2000 for now.
Cleared left downwind runway 32 and not below 2000, Charlie Foxtrot Whiskey. Oh, we're gonna get to land on one of the big runways.
Really?
Yeah. That's gonna be cool.
Is that huge passenger planes would land on?
Yep.
Dave, so gonna make this your best landing ever?
You land twice on that runway.
There's no excuse for not having like smooth as butter.
Well, I'm gonna blame this turbulence in advance. In advance. And that is a long runway. That is 2.5 times as long as the one I usually land on.
Ottawa International has never been a busy airport, but COVID made it downright quiet, and I had the entire control zone to myself as I came in to land on runway 32. And as we were taxiing over to the Ottawa Flying Club to park, we got to go past the main terminal, and we went right by the Liberal Party's plane. This was in the middle of the last election period, and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau must have been in town for a rally.
Trudeau!
Well, that's Trudeau's plane.
Really?
Yes.
So it's not like Air Force One or anything like that?
No, that's Trudeau's, that's their plane.
So the one that he flies around to campaign in?
Yes, exactly.
Ah!
We had a short but really nice visit with my family, and then after a quick tour of downtown Ottawa, we headed back home so that we could leave for our hiking vacation to Algonquin Park and Killarney Park the next day. I'll have a video coming out about that trip in a little bit. It was spectacular, and I'd highly recommend Algonquin and Killarney to anybody.
I guess that's kind of shallow there, right?
2 weeks later, I decided I'd go back up and spend a few days with my parents. I hadn't seen them much during COVID, so this was going to be a nice long stay. On this trip, I decided to fly into the Rockcliffe Airport. It's a bit further from their house, but there's no landing fees, and the tie-down fees are a lot lower than at the main international airport. It's also just a beautiful little field right on the Ottawa River with a great approach that brings you in over the river itself. Despite my parents being pretty afraid of small planes, my mother decided she was ready to go up with me, and I was pretty psyched about taking her up. But at the last minute, she found she still wasn't quite comfortable enough yet, and so instead I took up my sister and her 2 kids for another flight.
Rockcliffe traffic, Kilo Pop Pop, clear the runway.
Rockcliffe traffic, Golf Charlie Foxtrot Whiskey on the roll, runway 27.
We started with a quick trip around the Gatineau Hills north of Ottawa. This used to be my stomping ground when I was growing up. The parkway that snakes through the hills was my favorite place to go cycling in the summers, and in the winter the city closes the parkway and turns it into a long cross-country ski trail. On this trip, we were hoping to see some nice fall colors, but it was a little too early in the season for that.
What's this one? These are just canals?
Oh, like this is Meech Lake right below us.
I don't want to talk about it when I'm flying high.
Oh, this is nice. This is really pretty.
Colors.
Runway around. Yeah, it's starting to turn. Huh? You do see it turning. Yeah, there's like pops of red everywhere. It's nice. Red, orange, yellow. Smoke Ident, and I am at 2,500 feet just southeast of the Chelsea Dam. Would you like to request a city tour, Fable?
Golf Charlie Foxtrot Whiskey identified. City tour is approved. Step 2,500 for now. And avoid the restricted areas. Are you familiar with them?
I am familiar, yes, and it's okay for me to turn along the river and just fly along the river?
Charlie Foxtrot Whiskey, as long as you stay at 2,500, you can do whatever you want over the city.
Copy that, thank you. Charlie Fox Whiskey. So, for the folks on the left side of the plane, if you look out your window, you see Parliament Building right there. You see it, Nikhil?
Yeah.
Okay,
Charlie
and
Foxtrot Whiskey, if you want to go to 2,000 now, 2,000 is approved.
2,000, I'll take that, thank you. Charlie Fox Whiskey. Okay, so Parliament Building, and then the Supreme Court of Canada, LeBret Flats.
Canada's Parliament buildings sit on a hill overlooking the Ottawa River, and we were able to fly pretty close by them. There are two fairly small restricted zones in the downtown area, one right around Parliament Building and one over the Prime Minister and Governor General's residences. As long as you avoid those, ATC is pretty good about letting you fly anywhere you want to do some sightseeing. After landing, Rosie and the kids were excitedly telling my mom all about the trip, and she turned to me and said the next time I'm up in Ottawa, she'll definitely come up for a flight with me. I know I'll get to go up to Ottawa many times again, but sadly I'll never get to take my mother up for a flight. So my goal now is to help my father get strong enough so that he can climb into the plane and I can take him up sometime. Hopefully I can do that and share it with you all next spring. For now, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time, and in the meantime, fly safe out there.